Hi everybody, I'm Benito Nopalito, and we are here today at a Suburban permaculture demonstration site. This is a conventional home, and me and the team at Elemental Designs have been working to retrofit it to make it a little more conducive to life here on Earth. Specifically, this bioregion has a long dry season, and we're planning on making the most out of the 13 inches of rain we get on average. Let me show you some of our water harvesting strategies. I bet some of them are even right for your home and property too. For example, we've put gutters on this house to direct rainfall to this 1,550 gallon rain tank. Once this tank fills, it will overflow into this Berman basin. We've sculpted this basin into the earth to allow that overflow to slow down, spread out, and sink into the landscape. Now we're holding water in the soil where it can be accessed by the tree roots. If the Berman basin overfill with water, it's then directed back to the conventional drainage off-site. This is an example of how we can passively retain rainwater on our properties and maximize its use before allowing it to drain away. This method is not only conducive to human settlements, but also protects our precious wetlands and oceans from contaminated runoff spewing out into the watershed. The next step is to plant in the areas where the water is being harvested. By planting perennial plants near these water sources, the plants are going to need less and less supplemental watering as they mature. Here's our young apple that's planted in its irrigation basin and also interplanted with lavender, sage, artichoke, other cover crops that are working together either to maximize pollination or to condition our soil to maximize productivity without using chemical inputs. This backyard was still pretty recently planted, but over the next few years, as the soil gets more spongy, as the water is rehydrating the land and our tree roots are even deeper, it's going to need less and less care, less and less supplemental watering as it matures. We're going to move over into the front yard where we've combined the best of both worlds to provide a design that includes a lot of water harvesting from the roof as well as gray water to build a front yard that's extremely resilient, also beautiful and productive. One of the main design focuses in this project is creating a studio inside of this garage. And one of those things was to make it a bit more comfortable by adding this large passion fruit vine to shade this hot side of the house where the sun is really beating down, especially in the afternoon. So your laundry machine is using 10 to 25 gallons of water per load. You're doing a few loads per week. And instead of sending that water to the sewer, we're now sending that water into the landscape. And we're not giving anything up. If you're doing a load that you don't want to send to the landscape because it has bleach or something, you can very easily do so. We've just completed the demolition phase of this project, completely removed kind of a more conventional style of landscaping in order to create something that's more dynamic. The studio provides us with multiple opportunities to harvest gray water and reuse it. We're going to combine that strategy with our roof water harvesting strategy in order to create a front yard landscape that's beautiful, productive, and also offers some privacy to the people hanging out inside. Hey everybody, and thanks for coming back. We're here about a month later. We're one step closer to completion in this permaculture project. But today I'm going to show you how we're harvesting water here. I'm going to show you how we're retaining that water and using that water to grow a bunch of food and beautify our landscape. I've said it before, and I'll mention it again. Our roofs are above ground wells, and this is a very important concept in our dryland climates. And so what we've been able to do here is interconnect the water from the roof to the landscape. And we've done so by simply connecting our drain pipe from the roof to the bioswale along the perimeter of our property. So, in order to retain this water, my team and I sculpted this bioswale along the entire perimeter of this front yard. So this basin that I'm sitting in right now is perfectly sized to accommodate a large rain event from this roof. Water will go through the downspout into the drain and pop up through this pop-up drain. And since we sculpted this basin to be perfectly even with the landscape, water will evenly distribute around the front of the landscape, and it'll passively irrigate a hedgerow of native plants which are already highly adapted to thrive in this area and support and enrich our local ecosystem. Now that we have our bioswale receiving that water from the roof and we're getting equal distribution with our bioswale on contour with the land, we've gone ahead and backfilled this basin with mulch. And as this biomass is decomposing, it's going to retain water for longer. It's going to keep our soil out of the sun to prevent the sun from evaporating all the moisture out of the ground, and it's going to improve with age. As it gets more decomposed, it's going to hold more water, retain that water in there for longer amounts of time, and essentially act like a biosponge that our perennials are going to tap into and access as needed. Thank you for following along on this journey towards sustainability in our suburbs. In our Southern California drylands, Elemental Designs is prioritizing rainwater harvesting, stormwater retention to protect our wetlands and watersheds, and let's be more productive with our landscapes. Let's grow food that lessens our dependence and reliance on industry and makes us more resilient within our own communities. I would like to help you if you have goals and you could benefit from a sustainability roadmap. Please reach out to Elemental Designs. I would personally love to assist you on this journey.